Hey people, I posted a short movie yesterday. It wasn't going over well, so I changed the cover on it. I was showing you where I found this. I think it was in Exodus 34:15, maybe. I had read it one time and caught it the first time, so I made the movie, the second time I was reading it. And I seldom do that. Usually I have to read it several times before I catch it. But I pulled it off and I put it beside the Greek and the Latin here. And I caught a whole lot more then. But it's talking about how to read the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments, they're written kind of strange. You get to the second line, the end of the second line here, and you'll see there's a space here between the B and the IT, and the same here is abitum, and you never see that. And from in it, abitum, of the house of bondage. And then you'll see that space all the way down through here, scattered around in many words that it's never before, the Asher, and beneath it, and mid it, and in the water, in mem, under again, mid it. And in a statue here, you see the E hung off the end. They never do this. And many more times, I think you'll see when it comes up to the short ones down here. And it looks like they do this word like this every time. And in the short ones, no tracks. They set that H way off the side. And the no, not nap. They got the P off to the side. And so they did this all through the Ten Commandments. But there's something else in here. And you'll see it other places in the Bible I show you. You see it on the first page. But it's this line here. And it comes up a lot in two lines in the commandments here. It comes up 3 times here. And you shall have no other gods before me. No carved images. And then again, remember the Sabbath. You see the 6, they did it to the 6 too. And you see this come up, and the Sabbath, they separated the Sabbath here. And you see it come up 1, 2, 3 times in here too. Or maybe just twice. Look in this consonants only Bible, it's easier to see. You see how it comes up 1, 2, 3 times. Thou shalt not make a like image. And then remember the Sabbath. It's 1, 2, just 2 times here. And you won't see it again on this page. And it's not new. It comes up on the first day of the Bible when he's naming the day. And about 4 more times here in Genesis 1. And the first time I seen it, I knew exactly what it was. I don't know if it was a past life where I knew how to read this, or if it was just basic imagery that told me that that's the end of the line and to read that backwards. And then after much trial, I found out that it does read backwards, and that's what that means. And so in Latin, you might call it reverse osmosis. And Moses turned back, and reverses is Moses. When Moses was born, he wasn't called Moses, he was called motion. And that's where your word Moses comes from. It means Moses. And reverse osmosis is to force it in the other direction. Not just turn back, but being forced to go in the other direction. You got to the end of the hallway, you had to turn around. The door was locked. And this is the Google translation underneath here. And it's a little confusing because they didn't translate it like it was written. They left some words out. But, in reverses, it's motion. The mont, it's not a font. All these letters, these are all fonts. This is a mont in your way. Importance, twas double S. They got this, they read this as 2 tables, the tablets. And that's not. This is the word the double here, the DABULS, the double as. And this is a TWAS. It was double as. And that's what I say, they write a little bit and you get so much more out of it when you're skilled at writing backwards and forwards in the same line. And it reverse osmosis the mount. Portans was double as. The testum on. To testum on. And you see a triple I here, 1, 2, 3. Test them on when. And a man was, a man is a hand. I need some hands. I need some men over here, the manual. And the man was, in the UA, I figured out in the Hebrew and in the Greek that it replace it with a TE or a DE, and the man was DES, descript as, written to descript as sex attract the part. And so this part here, this is the word that it was making fun of over here. It's the cut of them. And it says, from is in of a rhyme. Of the rhyme is whom is them cut of them. What you cutting is farts over here. And so that lets me know that rhyme doesn't mean words that sound like R-Y-E-M. Rhyme means words that look alike. A fart and a part are the same word. They're a rhyme, a R-Y-E-M. And so if you think this is difficult, it's because it's supposed to be. This is not public education. This is what the world rulers was secretly sending messages back and forth in messages that something we think we're reading, and they're reading something totally different. So from the mountain carrying in his hand, it reverses motion, them on, them on deporting. Reverses, and when they get to the wall, and reverses motion, them on deporting. You used to have walls all over the ancient cities. So the hand, it looks like it's talking about you getting the palm, stop, and turn around, them on deporting. 'Twas double as testimon. It had a dual use. It was a double as testimon. I was telling you, the guy that's writing these rhymes, he also writes them on both sides of your casket. That's where they're getting on the two sides. Sit on them old Egyptian caskets, and it's magic spells to help get them through the afterlife. When you get up to the gate, you can go get weighed in, or if you can get the guard to laugh hard enough, you can sneak by them and not have to go through all the weighing in process. When you go to the Mason Lodge, you can give him the secret handshake, or you can tell him a joke so good he doubles over and you step on in. They know if your jokes are that good, they know you're already in. And reverses is motions. Them on deportings. 'Twas double as testimony. When, the three eyes, just read just a U instead of a I here. Instead of three eyes, read it as a Y and then a U. And when man was descript as sex attract the part. So the word fart and part, they're the same word. Back in the day they had public restrooms, and if you wanted some privacy, you needed to fart. Everybody would get away from you. They would part. It would go away, both sides. Anybody thinks about the Ten Commandments, and they always get this image of these writings on stone that plainly come from these old Egyptian funerary stones, where they did the same thing. These old masons would tell jokes. But I always knew there was one reason that the Ten Commandments stood out way in front of all the rest of the Bible. And I always knew it was the commandments on how to write the language, what not to give away, how to keep the secrets. And so I read this Hebrew in that movie yesterday. I read it in the One Direction. And it doesn't have any words starting with A. It only has this one directional mark here. But I tell you, it's writing on the bathroom wall, wiping, W-I-P-N, wiping word, W-I-R-D. And wiping word, M's 'em in, and them's from in, wiping word, M's in. And with the mark, it's a R-E-E-E-R. It's the rear, R-E-U-R, from in rear. Wiping words from in the rear. Wiping your shit on the wall. Was in the let had it, Don't hold nothing back. If you would write on a wall and shit, there's nothing you wouldn't say. The bid will it. You ain't afraid to throw a number up there. A cut of 'em is in. The double N is reason I-S. The cut of 'em is in. And the J, the J-O-B, the job, rhyme, the W-N-I-Z, that rhyme is whom's him cut of them. His job is to write the rhymes on your casket, try to get you in heaven. And I believe I'm going to make this in 3 parts. I'm going to put this Greek in another movie so I don't try to rush anything in it. And I'll put these 3 in this folder right up here. Good day.